Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, Jan Michael here. I think we've all had a moment in our lives where we thought to ourselves, what if I had an Oscar ballot in my hands? What if I could choose the winner? And that's exactly what I'm going to give you guys today. What if I chose the winners? Because nobody else's opinions matters. It's all about me, baby. Now, I do need to mention that I haven't seen every single Oscar nominee just yet. I'm about 10 films away from doing so. So it is worth noting that per the new rule added this year, if you haven't seen every film in a certain category, you are not allowed to vote in that category. A good rule. But seeing as this is all fantasy, I'm going to ignore that rule and just give you what I would pick from the ones that I have seen. So I can't choose something I haven't seen. I have to have watched it. As I list them, you will see the ones I have not seen in red, and I will kind of talk my way around those. So sit back, relax. We're just going to have some fun today. These are my Oscar predictions for February of 2026. We're starting from the bottom, making our way up to the top, starting here with visual effects. The nominees here are Avatar, Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. Now, I've not seen the Jurassic Park film. I was refusing to do so. I actually haven't seen the newest Jurassic Park films that have come out recently. I mean, those have all been terrible. They're horrendous. They suck and they piss me off. And it's really sad to say that because the first Jurassic Park film is like one of my favorite films of all time. That is the first movie that I saw in theaters, something I'm incredibly proud of. Why can they not make one decent Jurassic Park follow-up film? I don't understand, but I was thankful that the Oscars just never voted for these films, so I wouldn't have to watch them, but this is the year they decided to do so, so I will see it eventually. Just excuse me if I'm not in a rush to give myself a migraine. Regardless, here I would go with Avatar. I don't think that movie is particularly good. I've never been a fan of the franchise, but holy crap, this last one is boring, man. It's boring. It's far too long, dude. But to not give it the vote in visual effects would be kind of petty of me. If there is one thing that film does amazingly, it is the visual effects. So kudos to them for being able to pull off another feast for the eyes. Yes, it deserves the win here. That's where my vote would go. Moving on to sound, the nominees here are F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Sarat. I haven't seen Sarat yet, so once again, can't go that route. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it, but it hasn't really released anywhere over here. I cannot find a place to stream it at. I believe I've read that it's going to be coming to theaters where I'm at sometime in March, so this may just be one of the final films I end up checking out before the Oscars. Regardless here, my vote would go for Sinners. And I know you're probably thinking, well, about F1? F1 had amazing sound, and yes, it does, but look, to me, that's just cars going vroom vroom, crashing into each other. It's nothing we haven't heard before. What Sinners does with its music, with the action, with the sound that these vampires make, I think that is much more unique than anything from any of these other films. I don't think any of the other ones are all that impressive. F1 probably would be in my second place just because, yeah, it's a familiar, but it does sound nice. But for me, I always like unique sound experiences, which is exactly what we got with Sinners. So definitely my vote would go there. Production design is next. The nominees here are Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. And quite honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the production design nominee this year. There's nothing on here that I'm absolutely in love with. I think that if you were to say, hey, what type of films would get into production design, this would be like the generic ones that you would start just listing off. And yeah, here they are. I would probably go Frankenstein here, although I do have my problems with Frankenstein as well. Yeah, that looks safe. Let's just go ahead and build a hole right there in the middle of the floor in my giant tower castle. The fuck is that? But regardless, there's enough great things in that movie that offsets the things that made me go, what? What the fuck's that about? So on that note, completely fun. That's where I would give my vote. It's not one that I'm completely in love with, but again, just this category is not too impressive this year. Moving on to original song, the nominees here are Dear Me from Diane Warren Relentless, Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. The only film on here I have not yet seen is Viva Verdi. I think this one I can just stream. I think you can purchase to stream it. Just haven't had a chance to do so yet, but it is one that I will watch. I don't know if it matters if you watch the films when it comes to like the song categories or the score ones. Is that a rule as well? Like you need to watch those films even though that's the film in general is not what you're really kind of going in to vote for. It's just the aspect of it. I don't know. Tell me if you know in the comments below. Regardless, this really does fall on two songs. Same as everybody's talking about right now, which is Golden or I Lied to You. Now, in the context of within the movie, I Lied to You is the far superior pick. That scene with the song, how it all transforms, how it camera moves along during all the transformations, if you will, that's amazing. That is like the scene of the year. That's my favorite scene of 2025. However, if you take the songs out of context, if you're just listening to the songs on their own, I think Golden holds up just a little bit better here. Not that you can't listen to I Lied to You, I still play that from time to time. But you show that song to someone who has not seen the movie, you're just showing the songs to, and at least when I have, most people go, the hell, that turned kind of weird. So I think in terms of enjoyment, Golden can be enjoyed within the confines of the film and outside on its own. So for that reason, I would give my vote to Golden. But again, this is more of a personal taste than anything. You may disapprove and say, nah, I lied to you. You could still totally enjoy that song. You can. I just think, again, you show it to someone who doesn't know the film, who just doesn't follow the Oscars, they're going to give you that reaction. All right, its counterpart. Original score. The nominees here are Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. I am going to be giving the flowers back to Sinners here. I think the score to the film is amazing. I just love the sound of it. It fits the world so well. Music is definitely, out of all the entertainment media, is probably the ones that I'm least knowledgeable in. I can't tell you like the instruments that are used in what way, or hey, here's the percussion score, here's the notes. So this really is just what do I personally like, what do I gravitate towards, and to me, out of all the scores, I like Sinners the best, and that's really all I got to say on it. Makeup and hairstyling is next. Here our nominees are Frankenstein, Kokuo, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. I haven't seen Kokuo yet. That one's about to come out to my theaters like at the end of this week when I'm recording. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. Very excited. Although I just found it out it's like a 3-hour film, so I'm like, oh God, why? So can't take that one into consideration, but regardless, to me, Frankenstein is definitely the pure out winner. Like all the other nominees are completely fine. I like the makeup and hairstyling and all those just okay. But Frankenstein's definitely the one that stands heads and above all of the others. I think what they did with the creature design is really, really great. I like the design of it. I like how, yes, at first it is off-putting. Like you can tell it's not really human in a way, but it's still sympathetic. Like you can still feel emotion towards this creature. So yeah, kudos for what they did there. Definitely the highlight of the film. Live action short film. The nominees here are Butcher Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, The Singers, Two People Exchanging Saliva. I've not seen Butcher Stain yet. That is the only one I'm missing here. But out of all the ones that I've seen, I think I would go for The Singers. It's like a nice, short, Really just entertaining little shorts. Honestly, you could just sit down and watch it. I think it's only like 15 minutes long. And it just has like a nice little cast of characters. The singing in the film is really cool. I like the environment. Yeah, just overall, out of all the shorts that I've seen thus far, I think that one's the one I like the best. Although I did also like A Friend of Dorothy. That one was really touching. I didn't like the other two, so those two I would definitely not put my vote on. So would Butcher Stain ultimately take it once I see it? I don't know. I haven't seen it. But as of right now, The Singers for sure. International feature film, the nominees here are It Was Just an Accident from France, The Secret Agent from Brazil, Sentimental Value from Norway, Sarat from Spain, and The Voice of Hein Rajab from Tunisia. As I said, I have not seen Sarat yet. That is the only one here I am missing. For me, though, easy pick. The Secret Agent. It is so goddamn good. Like, I've heard so many people say, oh yeah, this one's good, but I really like I'm Still Here from last year better. I'm gonna be one of those weirdos that say I'm the complete opposite. I thought I'm Still Here is really good. Like, it was fantastic. But I freaking loved The Secret Agent. Like, it has everything that I truly want from a film. Just like an intriguing premise. There's a mystery behind it. These characters are all fantastic. I loved every single one of them. There are some gut punches within the film that really impact you. And it's silly at points. Like, there are moments where you're like, what the fuck's going on? So, like, that has every component that I freaking love from a film. So, hands down, The Secret Agent would get my vote. That is like one of my favorites out of like any of the nominees. So that's where my vote lies. For film editing, the nominees here are F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Like, I like really zip fast editing. I don't necessarily need it to be subtle. I know some people say, well, editing is more like a subtle art. You shouldn't notice the editing. And sure, I can appreciate that just fine. But when editing is done in creative ways, that's really where I kind of like perk up. That's what can turn just an okay film into a dang good one. And what did they say about Star Wars? It was a movie that was saved in editing. See, editing can do so much for your movie. So this is one that I almost consider giving to F1 because racing to me is not super exciting. Like, personally, I don't find racing that exciting. So being able to kind of zip through the editing and make it exciting is very impressive. And the racing in that film, yeah, very impressive. But to me, I'm actually going to go Marty Supreme. The editing here is just like, I don't know how to explain it other than it's like electrifying. It has like energy to it, and not just in the tabletop tennis scenes, like even outside of it, like the editing is so quick and snappy. It's like the whole dang film is like one ginormous like action or like sports scene. It just doesn't let up, and because of that, it just keeps you like in that high octane energy that the movie just indulges in. So that's definitely where my vote would go in this category. For documentary short film, the nominees here are All the Empty Rooms, Armed with Only a Camera, The Life and Death of Brent Renaud, Children No More, Were and Are Gone, The Devil is Busy, Perfectly, A Strangeness. Only one I've not seen here is Children No More. That one I just cannot seem to find anywhere, so we'll see if I get a chance to see it before the Oscars. I mean, sometimes they just surprise you with like, hey, here it is. So hopefully that happens. My vote here would go with Armed Only with a Camera. Out of all the ones that I've saw here, that was the one that probably hit me the most emotionally. Although, from what I understand, Children No More is also very emotionally impactful. So maybe once I see that one, my opinion will shift over. For right now, though, Armed with Only a Camera, that's the one that I would give my vote to. For documentary feature film, the nominees this time are The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, The Perfect Neighbor. So I've not seen two of these, which are Cutting Through Rocks and Mr. Nobody Against Putin. Mr. Nobody, I can stream now. I know it's available. Again, just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. This is probably going to be the next one I sit down to really watch. It's one that I've been curious about. But I don't know where I can find Cutting Through Rocks. This is, again, another one that I don't see any plans on releasing anytime soon, so I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed and hope I can come across it in some way or form. Out of the three I have watched, however, my vote will go for the Alabama Solution. Man, was that like a heavily impacted movie. I don't cry during films. I've mentioned this like millions of times already. Like I just don't cry during films. But man, like during some of the more like heartbreaking scenes, I was like, oh man, I'm actually getting kind of emotional here. And none of the other ones did that for me. I mean, the next closest song would be The Perfect Neighbor. I do think that one is impactful in its own way. But emotionally impactful to me, I was hit stronger with the Alabama Solution. But you may feel differently. I know this is one that there's a lot of really good picks here. The three that I've seen have been really good, so we'll see how those other two play out. Maybe there's something more devastating that's gonna get me. But for now, Alabama Solution. Moving on to costume design, the nominees here are Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. So I'm a very simple guy when it comes to costumes. I just like things that look cool. I don't need them to be practical. I just need them to look cool. And for me, that would definitely go with Frankenstein. Though, if I can just go off on a tangent real quick, how cool is it that Avatar, Fire and Ash got this nomination? Like, I was a little bit confused when it was first announced, but the more I thought about it, the more I was thinking, yeah, that's like awesome, dude. Like, obviously there's the real people in like military uniforms, but I'm pretty sure that's not where the nomination's coming from. It's the avatars and their like costumes. And like that's crazy. That's not those aren't real costumes. Like yes, they had to be created digitally, but it's not like somebody sewed these costumes together. Like is that the first time the Academy's ever done anything like that? I would really have to go back and check, but what a cool nomination. I wouldn't be caught wearing that at all, so I can't really give it the vote, but it is still a cool nomination altogether. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. To me, still Frankenstein. Those are some cool outfits, and one that I wouldn't mind putting on if I got the chance. Cinematography is up next. Here we have Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. And I gotta say, cinematography, I really like this lineup. I think this is a very, very good lineup. And I almost kind of struggled with who I wanted to win, but truthfully, I have to give it to Sinners. Like I mentioned, it has the scene, like the way the camera moves throughout that scene, that is amazing. And I know you can make the argument, well, okay, that's just the one scene. Other films have multiple scenes that are pure out amazing. Look, even if that were true, because I think there are other great scenes, if you will, in Sinners with great cinematography, just having the scene of the year for me, that is impactful. When I think back on 2025 and the movies that came out, my mind's going to jump to Sinners and it's going to jump to the scene. That's like number one. So for that alone, I have to give it the nomination, or excuse me, the win here. Moving right along to casting, the nominees here are Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, and Sinners. And just like cinematography, this is a really great lineup. I know just hearing the titles of the film, you don't really think about, well, casting, what's so great about, like every single one of these has a really good argument to make by why it should win this award. This is a tough one if I were to actually vote on it. I am ultimately doing a review for every single one of these films, so I will be talking in more length about the casting and why it's so spectacular that each of these got a nomination, so keep a lookout for those videos. But just now, know that it took me quite a while to pick a winner here, and I have to go Sinners. I think the casting here is just so amazing. There's so many great performances, ones that you know of, ones that came out of nowhere, even the characters that you didn't think were going to be all that special end up leaving an impact. You love these characters to the point that when they start to fall, and that's not a spoiler, it's a horror film, people are gonna fall, you start to feel the loss of it. And that cannot come around if these actors weren't doing their amazing job in the film. There's also that great cameo at the end, which I won't spoil. You have Miles Caton, who, again, just came in out of nowhere and just knocked it out of the park. I think this is a great casting win, if it goes on to win. If it were my opinion, it would go on to win. But once again, this is a really tough one. I really do think you could give the win to any one of these, and it would be justifiable. For animated short film, the nominees here are Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Retirement Plan, The Three Sisters. I have not seen The Girl Who Cried Pearls yet. That is the only one I'm missing here. I actually don't like hardly any of these. I know probably Butterfly is going to win just based on the subject matter. I was really looking forward to kind of seeing it, but I was a little bit underwhelmed by it, if I'm being completely honest, but that might just be me. My favorite of these is actually Retirement Plan, which is where my vote would go. That one at least had me smiling. I can't say Retirement Plan's like this amazing animated short, but at least it had me smiling, so there's that. Who knows, maybe The Girl Who Cried Pearls will kind of change my mind on this one, but for now, that's where my vote would go. For animated feature film, the nominees here are Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. And just like the animated shorts, I'm not too impressed with the animated films this year. I'm sorry, I don't think any of them are spectacular. They're good, but it's just good, right? It's nothing that I'm like, oh, I'm definitely gonna watch this film again and again. So I'm not gonna go for K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm sorry, but that's also another one that I think is just good. Like, the one thing that film has going for it is the songs are incredibly catchy. No doubt, they get stuck in your mind. Not just Golden. Almost all of them got stuck in my brain. So that's impressive on its own. But I think all other aspects of the film are kind of underwhelming, in my opinion. So that's me. The only exception, the only one amongst these, with maybe the exception of Arco I thought was actually kind of cute. Little Amelie. Like, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, that is one that I truly do think is a spectacular film. And very much worthy of the nomination. And for me, most worthy of the win. All right, moving into the above-the-line categories now. Original screenplay, the nominees here are Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. And I know you guys are probably thinking, well, Sinners, right? Look, Sinners is my close number 2, and I know Ryan Coogler is going to go on to win the Oscar there. Hands down, I'll be super freaking excited when that happens. If I were voting, however, I personally love quick and snappy dialogue. That's always been the thing that I've gravitated most to. Like, I'm the type that loves, like, Quentin Tarantino, a Guy Ritchie script, just, like, those fast-paced back and forths. I freaking love those things. And which is the one amongst these that does that the best? Well, to me, that's Marty Supreme. Yeah, that thing is, like, firing on all cylinders, man. That script is insane. So, yes, that is definitely where I would give my vote to. But again, when Ryan Coogler wins, very much deserved. He is amazing, and I think his screenplay for Sinners is fantastic. And again, it's close number 2. It's not that far off. It's a close number 2. Moving on to adapted screenplay, we have Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, Train Dreams. Now, once again, you might be thinking, well, you're definitely going to give this to One Battle After Another, right? And again, unfortunately not. While that one does have nice, quippy dialogue throughout, I think there's one film that does the dialogue a little bit better, and that is Begonia. I love the back and forth between those two leads. That is amazing. That's what keeps you glued to it. Like, if the dialogue sucked, if it didn't keep you entertained, that film would crumble. It would fall apart. One Battle After Another has more going for it than just a script. There's so many elements, so if one portion of it doesn't work, there's something else that's going to pick up the slack. Begonia doesn't really have that luxury. It needs a solid script with great performances. If those two things fail, it's done. It nails both. It gets my vote. All right, I'm not going to spend too much time with the performances because if you saw my Oscar predictions video for December, I actually gave you my favorite performances of the year in that one. So really, this is going to come as no surprise if you've seen that video. So, supporting actress nominees here are Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Igna Ibsdottir Lilius for Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wunmi Musaku for Sinners, Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. My pick here would go to Amy Madigan. She is fantastic. That is my favorite supporting actress performance of last year. So you're damn right it is my pick to win for the Academy Awards. Supporting actor, we've got Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. This one's going to Sean Penn, just like I mentioned in that video. He was my favorite supporting actor performance of last year. That was an amazing performance. I can't believe not more people are talking about him potentially going on to win. As I understand it, he's a very difficult person to get along with in Hollywood. I think he's even apologized while accepting like an award before. So, yeah, maybe that's gonna, I don't know. Would they really judge that? I guess maybe. But yeah, that's where my vote would go. He was amazing and very much deserving of taking home the win. For actress, the nominees are Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Song Blue, Renata Reinsva for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Begonia. And yes, I have not seen Song Song Blue yet. There's just so many people that are talking negatively about that movie that, very similar to the Jurassic World film, I'm not in a rush to give myself a migraine. I will be seeing it, that one. I will be seeing it. Yeah, I'm just not looking forward to it, if I'm being completely honest here. Anyways, you guys know my vote here would go to Rose Byrne. And for those of you who are like, what? Jessie Buckley, why not her? Like, Jessie Buckley is amazing, and she is very well deserving of taking home the win. I am not going to be upset by that win whatsoever. Jessie, however, works well because she has other performers who are kind of helping elevate her performance. If it was just her by herself, I don't think it would work quite as well. But because in every single like really great emotional scene that she's in, there are other people that are kind of helping her to elevate. That I think is where the brilliance comes in. And that's not downplaying her performance. It's great. I'm just saying that works more to me as like almost an ensemble or as a working off one other person type of scenario. But with Rose Byrne, she carries that movie. She is the movie. Like, if she had failed, again, that movie just crumbles and falls. There's nothing else that can save that movie if she wasn't delivering. And because she's delivering, I have to give her the vote. She is that amazing. Greetings, everybody. Editor Jan Michael here, working on this current video when I have no idea why, but my footage for the actor pick is gone. I don't know what happened to it. I know I recorded it because I have to play back the footage every single time I do it just to make sure that it came out fine. I don't know if, like, I permanently deleted it by accident. It is a mystery. But I'm just going to go ahead and give you my quick rundown of that category. Because I don't have the time to set anything up, and I want to get this video out as soon as I can. So actor, the nominees here are Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. My favorite performance of the year did not get nominated, so obviously can't go with that one. So instead, I'm going to go with my second favorite performance of the year, which is Timothée Chalamet. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm sure I'm making everybody sick with the shaking of the camera. Let's move on. For director, we have Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Ryan Coogler for Sinners, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. I believe in giving people their dues when they work hard and they put out some of their best work. So yes, this one I most definitely would go for Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. He's worked long and hard. This is a fantastic movie. It was my second favorite film of the year. He deserves the award. I think he's more than proven himself time and time again. So I'm not here to hold back the trophy from him any longer. I would most definitely give him my vote. And last of all, for Best Picture, the nominees here are Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. You guys know it was my favorite film of last year. My vote here would go for Sinners. Does that mean I'm going to get upset when One Battle After Another goes on to win the Oscar? Hell no, that was my second favorite film of last year. I will be more than happy to see that go home to win. But for me, I love Sinners more, so of course, that's where my vote would go. And quite honestly, this is a great lineup of films we have this year. With the exception of two, maybe 3, and that third one really is because of personal like choice rather than like the film failing in really any regard. I think you could give the award to any one of these and it would be a fantastic win. I can easily rewatch any of these films again and again. But yeah, no, what? Sinners to me, definitely, and One Battle After Another, also a great choice. And that's all I got for you guys today. Did you have fun? Did you agree with my picks? You are legally obligated to agree with my picks. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. Just, yeah, you're not invited into my kingdom any longer. Go, shoo. Get out of here. Get out of here. Nah, just kidding, guys. Let me know in the comments below, what would you vote for? What movies would you love to have seen nominated at the Oscars if your personal choice isn't in any of these categories? If they are in your categories, what would you vote for to go on to win? We've got the road to the Oscars coming up next. I am working hard on those videos. That is a review of each Best Picture winner leading up to my final predictions, and of course, the award show. So keep an eye out for those, guys. Thank you so much for following me all this time. Until those next videos, stay safe out there and have a good one.